The book had been hidden for a reason. Bound in what appeared to be human flesh, its surface still faintly warm to the touch, the tome sat in the darkest corner of the Black Archives, chained to a pedestal of black iron. The scholars of the Grand Athenaeum whispered about it in the dead of night, their voices trembling with equal parts dread and fascination. Some claimed it contained the true name of God. Others said it held the screams of every soul that had ever died. Professor Elias Graves should have heeded the warnings. A man of relentless curiosity, Graves had spent his life pursuing forbidden knowledge, his fingers tracing the edges of secrets that would have broken lesser minds. But the book Liber Arternum, its title, whispered in no known language, called to him in ways he couldn't explain. It hummed in his dreams, its pages rustling in non-existent whines, its words slithering through his thoughts like serpents.
The first sacrifice.
The night he finally unchained it, the air in the archives grew thick with the scent of copper and burning hair. The book fell open with a wet, organic sound, its pages not parchment, but something far worse, thin layers of stretched skin, the text inscribed in veins filled with still liquid blood. Graves read the first word aloud. His voice was not his own. Something ancient and ravenous spoke through him, the syllables tearing at his throat like shards of glass. The candles guttered, their flames turning a sickly green. Shadows pulled at his feet, thickening into tendrils that slithered up his legs, anchoring him in place. Then the pain began. His vision fractured into 1,000 screaming fragments, visions of civilizations crumbling, of stars winking out one by one, of a great maw opening in the void, hungry beyond measure. His skin prickled, then split, tiny mouths forming between his fingers, along his arms, each one whispering secrets that scalded his mind. Blood dripped from his eyes, his nose, his ears, forming rivulets that snaked across the floor toward the book, feeding it.
The second reader.
The other scholars found him at dawn. What remained of Graves was barely recognizable as human. His body had become a living manuscript, his flesh covered in the same blasphemous text as the book's pages, his mouth sewn shut with threads of his own hair. The book itself was pristine, its hunger momentarily sated. Archivist Veldrus, the oldest and most cautious among them, ordered the archives sealed. But young apprentice Cale, driven by the same reckless hunger that had doomed Graves, slipped past the guards that night. He found the book waiting. This time, the transformation was slower. Cale's screams echoed through the stacks for hours as his bones elongated, his joints reversing, his skull splitting to accommodate new, terrible knowledge. When the sun rose, his remains resembled a grotesque living bookshelf, his ribs stretched into shouts, his organs rearranged into something resembling chapters, his still-beating heart pulsing like a bookmark between the folds of his flesh.
The awakening. Bang.
By the third night, the book no longer needed readers to come to it. The chains that once bound it had rusted away to nothing. Now it moved on its own, its covers flexing like the wings of some great, predatory bird. The scholars who had laughed at the superstitions found themselves hunted through the labyrinthine stacks, their terrified whispers only spurring the thing forward. It cornered Archivist Veldrus in the restricted section. The old man fought bravely, reciting wards of protection, hurling jars of sacred salts. But when the book opened before him, its pages fanning out like the petals of some obscene flower, he could not help but look. The last thing he saw was his own face reflected in the book's depths, not as he was, but as he would become. His scream joined the chorus of voices, now trapped within its pages, another footnote in an endless, growing text.
The hunger spreads.
The Grand Athenaeum stands silent now, its doors barred from the outside. But sometimes, in the dead of night, the townsfolk hear the sound of pages turning from within. And the book, it grows thicker with each passing moon. Its covers stretch wider, its hunger grows stronger, and the world holds so very many readers.